How's it going everyone? Blueknight here and welcome back to another Crash Bandicoot video. So Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time is just a few weeks away from launching, and the excitement for this game just keeps getting higher and higher with every single reveal, with the most recent reveal being that Tana Bandicoot is a playable character in the game. I did make a video giving my thoughts on this reveal, as well as an in-depth analysis on everything about that reveal. If you want to check out that video, the card is located in the top right corner. But today I want to shift a little bit away from Crash 4 and focus a little bit on Crunch Bandicoot, who just so happens to be referenced and has a cameo in the game. But who is Crunch? That's the question for today's video as we take a deep dive into the lore, origins, and appearances of Crunch Bandicoot in the series since his debut in Wrath of Cortex. Do keep in mind that I'm mainly focusing on the main console games and not so much the handheld or spin-off games, but they will be brought up at some point in the video. So if you guys are ready, let's go. Now, as I just said, Crunch Bandicoot made his debut in Crash Wrath of Cortex back in 2001, which was the original Crash 4 in the main series timeline. Crunch was a secret project of Cortex's that not even Entropy or Engine knew much about. Being an overconfident cyborg-infused Bandicoot with a metal arm, Crunch aided Cortex in his quest for world domination, alongside the elementals being his power source, which was ultimately stopped by Crash when they broke Cortex's control over Crunch. So was he really helping Cortex, just unwillingly? The Bandicoots then flee the destruction of Cortex's space station, which leaves him and Uka Uka stuck in the Antarctic waste for 3 years. Within that time, Crunch basically became a part of the Bandicoot family and has had a gradual attitude adjustment ever since, acting as an older sibling to both Crash and Coco, even joining them in future adventures, including Crash Nitro Kart, where both Team Bandicoot and Team Cortex are abducted by Emperor Velo the 27th to race for the entertainment of his subjects. This was after receiving word of their racing prowess from none other than Nitrous Oxide, who only appears for like 2 seconds in the intro cutscene and no other cutscene in the game. Crunch is a playable character on Team Bandicoot, and after they beat Velo in a race, the trio are then returned home, where things go back to normal, at least until Crash Twinsanity released the following year. Now, canonically speaking, Nitro Kart and Twinsanity did not happen in that order. That was just their release order, as Twinsanity took place after Wrath of Cortex as part of the main series of games, whereas Nitro Kart was part of the spin-off series. Crunch appeared in Twinsanity as part of Cortex's gathering of villains that Crash has defeated over the years, except Crunch actually thinks it's an actual birthday party for Crash, hence the cake and paper party hat. I mean, come on, he looks so cute here. Crunch appeared again in Crash Tag Team Racing as part of Crash's team and a playable character. He joins them to help reclaim the power gems needed to run Von Clutch's amusement park, along with Von Clutch's Black Heart power gem, which keeps him alive. And it turns out that Willy Wumpa Cheeks, the amusement park's mascot, was the one that stole them, only to get reduced to a puddle thanks to Dr. Cortex, Nina, and Engine. From this game onwards, except for Nitro Fueled, Crunch basically had a Mr. T impression to his voice, and I kinda miss that in CTR Nitro Fueled, to be honest. Then we come to Crash of the Titans, where Crunch got a very different design compared to past games, and just gets frozen at the very start of the game, and we never see him again until the end of the game, which might have been for the better, considering the reception that Tiny's character got in Titans. Now I get it, fans have always debated whether or not Titans and Mutant are even canon to the other main series games because of these designs, but I'm just going to keep things very simple and just think that this is just an alternate dimension take on the Crash universe and nothing more. In Mind Over Mutant, Crunch has a slightly bigger role to play with a much better looking design, which is more reminiscent of his previous appearances, as Crunch is one of the game's bosses. How that happened was due to Cortex and Nitrous Brio's invention called the NV, which turns anything that wears it into an evil, monstrous version of themselves, offered free of charge of course. This was later referenced in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled with the Evil Crunch and Evil Coco skins, and as I just mentioned, Crunch is a playable character in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, as well as the other Crash mobile racing games and Crash Boom Bang, which we don't speak of. Crunch also makes an appearance in Crash Bandicoot Purple, Ripto's Rage, as part of some weightlifting mini-games. Again, we don't really speak of this game. Crunch also appears in Crash Bandicoot 2 Entranced, where himself, Coco, and Fake Crash are hypnotized by Uka Uka, Entropy, and Entrance, and are used against Crash. But we save them over the course of the game, and they become playable characters in certain levels. And like I said closer to the start of the video, Crunch gets a cameo appearance in the flashback levels in Crash 4 It's About Time, suggesting that Crunch was being tested and experimented on at the same time Crash and Coco was, before the events of Crash 1. Toys for Bob has made it clear that Crash 4 does not retcon any of the games that came after the original trilogy, as they may have happened in other alternate timelines, and those may be reflected in some ways in this, but this is a game that picks up right after Crash 3 Warped. Essentially, this is a game that features a multiverse story, so it's possible that Crunch is going to be rewritten and reintroduced for this new timeline that's being established in the Crash Bandicoot series going forward. Will he be in Crash 4? We don't know, but if getting a cameo appearance and an Easter egg in the form of his name being spelled out on a fridge on Crash 4's Insanity Beach is anything to go by, then he could very well appear with who knows whatever characters are in the game. Only time will tell, I guess. But anyways guys, that's all I really got for this video regarding the lore and history of Crunch Bandicoot in the Crash Bandicoot franchise. If I missed anything at all, then please be sure to let me know down in the comments section below, along with what you think about Crunch possibly making a full appearance in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time. And also be sure to hit that subscribe button for more Crash Bandicoot related content coming your way. Once again, thank you all so much for watching and the support. I've been Blueknight, and I'll see you guys back here next time.
What?